Hello everyone, this is Ross with Market Traders Daily, and this is today's video analysis for July 23rd, 2020. Today, we're looking at the NZDUSD, the New Zealand dollar, versus the US dollar for today's trade analysis. Pretty easy to see here between the New Zealand dollar on the left-hand side and the US dollar index on the right-hand side that the dollar is in a downtrend. The New Zealand dollar is in an uptrend, and that is the basis of the direction that we'll be looking for trading opportunities is as the dollar continues to fall, if the dollar continues to fall, we'll look for the New Zealand dollar to continue to rise. And of course, if the dollar does turn around at any point and make some sort of rebound or retracement, we'll look for the New Zealand dollar to also do the opposite, which is fall, and look for a push back lower into support. So at least right now, it looks like the dollar is continuing its push lower, challenging underneath the 95.0 level, the top of that yellow zone on the right, and underneath 94.85, the bottom of the yellow zone continues down to 94.55 for the USD. And so that would be the expectation. Now, of course, if it turns right back around, gets above 95 and above the yellow zone, we could see a push higher. On the other side, the New Zealand dollar sitting above the yellow shaded area, the support zone right now, 0.6660 and 0.6650 is that yellow shaded area. We capped out the last 2 days into the green zone, 0.6680, 0.6690, and pulled back off of that. Now we're sitting on top of this yellow zone. So for the day today, it's pretty easy to see on the New Zealand dollar that your support is the yellow zone. And if you're going to look for a new long in the direction of trend, this becomes our first place to look for it. I say first place because if we see any push lower, the orange zone and closer to the blue zone would be the next place to look for, or closer to the blue trend line, and the orange zone would be the next place to look for the support and the next rally higher for the New Zealand dollar. So first off is the yellow zone, next is the orange zone. If the US dollar were to take a punch towards the green zone and the red trend line, that would look for the New Zealand dollar to dip down towards the orange zone. So those are some of the things to look at as buy zones. Orange zone, then potentially the yellow zone first, and then potentially the orange zone. Targeting, of course, the high, which is the green zone, or higher. If I squeeze it in a little bit, you can see 67.15.30 peeking in at the top as our next potential resistance zone. All the while, if we were to buy the yellow zone, the risk is a break under that yellow zone. So we know what the risk is and where our stop loss would be. Take the New Zealand dollar down to the 4-hour time frame. This becomes interesting. Let's just zoom it out like this. This becomes interesting because we can clearly see we're holding this yellow zone for the past several hours as support right now. And the risk is, and the potential is, that if it gets underneath there, we look for it to go lower, again, down to the orange zone. And of course, above it is the green zone, and then the pink zone as our next resistance. Selling, again, selling on top of the yellow zone may not be our best opportunity. We'd probably look for the breakdown of 66.50 and the yellow zone under it before we would sell towards the orange zone or the blue zone. Trend is still up. Let's not forget about that. The trend is clearly up. Now it could, especially if you look at something like this, what happened here at the blue box, go into a range for a period of time. If we were to outline this range, something like this, that wouldn't be too difficult to see the New Zealand dollar go into somewhat of a range in this black box, which is getting ready to be a black box. It wouldn't be too difficult to see it even come down to the orange zone, challenge the blue trend line in a similar way that it did here between the blue, green, and yellow shaded area. So we're definitely watching this yellow zone. Will it find support and make another rally at the green zone and go higher? Or will it break and go down to the orange zone? So the yellow zone is our main area of decision for the day today on the New Zealand dollar. Bring in the USD, of course. For this to go down, we need the USD to rally up a little bit back to 95 or higher. We've already talked about that. Let's also bring in the volume indicator here. Here is the Hawkeye volume indicator. You can see it clearly coming off of the green zone, challenging down to the yellow zone. Of course, What we're looking for now here at the yellow zone is for the volume indicator to roll over to green again. The trend dots are red right now as it pushes down to the yellow zone. Heat map is red, volume is overall red. So we can see that it's pushing lower into the yellow zone. If it stays red, trend dots, heat map stay red, and it pushes under the yellow zone, we'll look for opportunities to go lower to the orange zone. If it turns green from the yellow zone, then we'll look for opportunities to go back to the green zone for the New Zealand dollar today.
From Forex Traders Daily, this has been your daily analysis with Ross Mullins. If you would like to get Ross's analysis on all the currency pairs he's watching and all the trades he takes today, join him in his live trade room by clicking on the link below. Please leave any comments you have about today's video in the comments section below.